So let's take a quick look at that last problem. For that one, sorry, let me pull that up really quick over here to the side. We were asked, give the equation of the x-axis was the actual question. So it was asking about this right here. And if we think about, if we're going to graph the equation, say y equals 2, for instance, what that would mean is that it doesn't matter what value x is. If x is 0, y is 2. If x is 1, y is 2. If x is 1,000,000, y is still 2. So if I graph that, when x is 0, y is 2. When x is 1, y is 2. I would get this horizontal line right here. And that would be the equation y equals 2. So the reason that the x-axis is y equals 0 is if you think about where it's crossing, right? This is 2, this is 1, that is 0, and then that is negative 1. And so it's for the exact same reason that y equals 2 makes a horizontal line through 2. The x-axis happens to be the horizontal line y equals 0, which is confusing because it's the x-axis and you're like, why isn't it x equals? But if x is always equal to something, like let's say x is always equal to 4, no matter what y is, we'd have 1, 2, 3, 4. When x is 4, y is 0. When x is 1, y is 0. So when it's a constant term in x, that's going to give you a vertical. When it's a constant in y, that's going to give you a horizontal. And then again, the reason the x-axis is 0, y equals 0, is because that's literally where you are on the y-axis, is at 0. So I don't know if that helps to clear up that last one. For this one, this is a wholly different 0. So this is just a point. What we would need to do here is find the equation in y equals mx plus b form so that I can identify the slope. And once I know the slope, I'll have the perpendicular of it by taking a reciprocal. And then that will be the slope of my line. And this is just the point that my line is going to go through. And all that is when x is 1, y is 0. So it just means the line that we're going to make is going to go through that point. So very separate from this last problem. Okay, so now let's actually try to do the current problem. So let's get this y by itself. So I'm going to subtract a 2x on both sides because I'm trying to isolate y, and that will give me y equals negative 2x plus 5. Sorry, that will give me 3y equals negative 2x plus 5. And then we're going to divide everything by 3. So y equals negative 2/3 x plus 5/3. So what that tells me is my slope is right here. My slope is negative 2/3. And so that means my perpendicular slope, and that little upside down t, that's a really crappy looking m. Let me try it one more time. Oops. My perpendicular slope, upside down t is perpendicular, would be positive 3/2 because we take the reciprocal of the slope and change the sign, and then that gives you the perpendicular one. So now we have our slope and we have our point, and we can use that to find the equation of the line. So let me scroll this up a little bit so I got some more room. I'll use point slope form, but we could also use this form right here. They would both work. And point slope form is y minus y1 equals m, and that's times x minus x1. And so we know the slope is 3/2, and our point was 1, 0. So y minus 0, because that's our y coordinate, and then x minus 1, because that's our x coordinate for the point. And then we just need to clean this up. So y minus 0 is just y, and I'll go ahead and distribute that 3/2 through, and minus 3/2. So this would be the equation of the line that's perpendicular to this one, and then goes through the point 1, 0. I'm going to pop over here real quick and just show you that that worked. I'm going to grab Desmos because it draws a much nicer graph than I do. Desmos. And my computer's being slow. Graphing calculator. And I'm just going to type over here for a second off screen. 2x plus 3y equals 5. And then y equals 3 halves x and then minus 3 halves. So what we end up getting, bring that over, is there's our original line in red, was right here. And then the line that we were supposed to make was supposed to be perpendicular to it, so it was going to intersect at a right angle, which actually looks pretty good right there. So that looks like about 90 degrees. And then this line that we made should go through the point 1, 0, which ours does. And then it should have a slope of 3 halves, and there's our over 2 and up 3, which is perpendicular to the red line that goes over 3 and down 2. So this was the line they gave us. They gave us that point. We used the slope of this one, or the perpendicular slope, to construct that line. And so that's how that zero played in on that one. Hopefully that answered more questions than it generated, but definitely give me a holler if you have follow-ups.